So I'm sitting back and I'm thinking about this, and I'm like, all right, well, you know, I usually, well, let's just look at it this way. It's 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'm driving my daughter to practice, and I'm sitting here going, well, I get these thoughts. It's usually, early in the morning, late at night, whatever, especially when I'm driving, right? So here it is, Friday morning. I'm up early, a little later than normal because we got to sleep in a little. Daughter's technically it's March break, so they've shifted all their practice times an hour, so I get an extra hour sleep. Yay me! It's another story, but if you listen to my podcast, you'll understand. Eh, you know, she doesn't want to drive. That's fine. But that's not the topic of today. So what we're going to today, we're going to talk about is just random thoughts, and I figure this might be a podcast. This might just be its own show in itself. I'll call it, I don't know, maybe it'll be part of my deep thoughts. Maybe it'll just be, you know, what we got thinking during time in the car. Who knows? But I make a lot of observations. I can't even speak. I need more coffee. A lot of observations at this time of day. So it makes it really interesting to actually. I figured, you know what? I got to share with people. This is the point where I got to be like, hey, this is some time that I don't know if I'm going to be ranting. I don't know if I'm going to be having some really life altering things. But let's get into this. So my day started, of course. It's a frosty morning. It's about mid March, and that's fine. The winter's not over yet, but people are hopefully thinking that all the snow is going to disappear and whatever. But this time of morning is when I start realizing, you start seeing people in an interesting light. I don't understand what it is, but people are in a rush to get to work. Why? I don't know. But it's almost like they figure, okay, powers that be, the authorities are not out at this early. It's so early, they're not out. So I want to see what I can get away with. We're talking speeding 100 to 30 zone. We're talking just reckless driving. We're talking about, forget about all my civilities. Forget about, you know, being a decent individual. I'm just going to do what I want and how I want and screw everybody else type scenario. Like, it's, you see the worst of people at this time of morning. You really do. It's like, it's disappointing. This is how you got to start your day, looking at some of the biggest stupidity of people. And it's usually their really bad driving habits, their complete and blatant disregard for anybody else, disregard for the laws, disregard for the fellow human. I mean, it's just, you really get an eye opener and stuff. And it's just like, okay, you don't understand. People are watching you. Don't think that you're completely anonymous and everything else. People are watching you. And I'm no stranger from looking into other cars and looking at the person and going, yeah, okay, I'm going to recognize that face. People should be held accountable. I've always said it, and I'll say it until I'm blue in the face, and I'll say it until my dying days. People need to be held accountable for everything. That's one of the big problems we're dealing with in this world is people are not being held accountable for behaving badly. It's like they want to behave badly and they're just going to see if they can get away with it without consequence. And that's wrong. I think everybody should be held accountable. That test of integrity, you know, they should be held accountable for everything that they say, everything that they do. There should be no free passes because, oh, I didn't know, or ignorance, or any other excuse or reasoning that they think that they can get away with it. Like, everybody should be held accountable for everything that they do, whether it be their words, whether it be their actions, because they're all one and the same. Oh, well, I didn't mean to do that. No, you're still accountable for that. I didn't mean to say no. You're still accountable for that. I don't want to hear the excuses. If it originates from you in any capacity, you should be held accountable, whether it be legally, whether it be morally. Either way, people should know that this is what you did, and it's you live up to it. Own it. Own it. That's, you did that. And you should have to suffer the consequences for it. There's no excuses. You should have to suffer the consequences for it. If you do good, same thing, good or bad. Be held accountable and suffer or be rewarded for the consequences of what it was. Don't hide your face. Don't hide your identity because you want to behave badly. You should be held accountable. And I'm not going to, you can argue with me until, you're blue in the face on this one. I really don't care. I will stand by this, and I always have stand by this, and that's how I live my life. That I'm going to be held accountable for everything that I say and do, and rightly so. And I should own up to it. I should own up to it. I should live up to it. I should. There's no, backing out from it. On the same note, when it comes to this, is that if you are going to be held accountable for it, hopefully that changes the way you go about doing stuff. It changes your behavior. It changes your approach to things. It changes a lot about how you are, because if you're being held accountable, chances are, in most cases, unless you're a friggin' complete psychopath, that you're going to actually do the right thing. When your integrity is going to come into question, you're going to do the right thing. This is the hopes, right? If you do the right thing, though, I think society should turn it around in the sense that you get rewarded for it. Absolutely. You should get rewarded for it. You do the right thing, excellent. Here you go. You're rewarded for it. And if you do the wrong thing, yes, hell, you should be persecuted for it. Because we all know right from wrong, okay? We all know right from wrong. So, if it doesn't serve us to do the right thing, for some reason we don't do it. Especially for whatever our mindset is fucked up in that particular sense, or that time. We know what's the right thing to do, what's the wrong thing to do. And this is why people should be held accountable for it, because at moments they feel, I'm trying to drive this point home because I want you to understand. I hope there comes a day that is exactly how people are gauged. Hands down across the board, they are gauged that way, and that's just the way it is, because that's going to be an eye-opener for a lot of people. I have asshole on my backside right now. I'll give you an example. He's riding my ass, tailgating me left, right, like there's no tomorrow. Is there a need for it? No. I'm doing the speed limit. And if he's in a rush, he has alternative routes that he could go, turn left, turn right, or whatever the case may be. But no, he decides he wants to be a bully and an aggressive dickhead, riding my bumper because I'm not going fast enough for him for his mission, his goals, what he wants to do today. Screw everybody else. This doesn't work for him. So he wants to be a pain in my ass and ride my ass because of this. Fuck him. And in all honesty, in the back of my mind, it's like, dude, fuck, I hope karma catches up with you. I hope you get, a taste of your own medicine. I'm thinking evil thoughts. Because there's no need for it. There is absolutely no need that you have to be an asshole. Absolutely no need. But you are. For whatever reason. Either you didn't sleep well, you woke up on the wrong side of the bed, somebody pissed in your cornflakes. I don't know. But there's no need for you to be an asshole. You just choose to be an asshole. You don't see it as being an asshole. If anything, human nature likes to pass the buck. Oh, it's not me. It's that person's fault. And you think of 1,000,001 different excuses for why it's somebody else's fault, not your own. You're not taking responsibility. You're not owning up to your own shit. You are being aggressive. You're the guy tailgating me, being on my ass. You are the one that is at fault. But you don't want to see it that way. You want to make every excuse why it's my fault. Okay? And that's another problem when it comes to people. Other than owning up to it, is recognizing it. recognizing how we are at fault versus owning up to it and going, yeah, oh, it's somebody else's fault. Right? No. Own up to your fuck ups. Own up to responsibility and look inwardly about the fact that you are at fault in the situation as well. Like, you're behaving badly, but you're so quick to pass the buck like it's somebody else's fault because you don't want to take the responsibility on for yourself, blame yourself, think of a million and one excuses why it's somebody else's, versus being empathetically looking at the other direction and the whole picture and then going from there. You're automatically going to, oh, it's somebody else's that's fault. It's not me. I'm the innocent one in this particular thing. You're not. Look at all the factors. Look at the environment. Look at every single part of the situation and tell me in all honesty, are you innocent in this particular factor? But they don't do that. They see what do I want to do? What's my goal? How is this serving me or inconveniencing me at the time? But they don't look at the other factors. They don't look at the fact that, oh yeah, it's a 30 zone. Okay. Oh, it's a residential street with people walking. They don't look at, oh, look at the condition of the roads. Can we actually drive without damaging the vehicle? Um, you know, you're overlooking all those other factors because they don't suit your goal at the time. They don't suit your intention at the moment. So automatically, if somebody is inconveniencing you, you're putting the blame on them. They're at fault because it doesn't meet your agenda and it's inconveniencing you at the time, regardless of the fact that they're doing right. They're going by the speed limit. They're driving safely. All that stuff like that. Regardless of all that, it doesn't suit your needs, so you're automatically, they're the one that's at fault. They're the ones that blame. They're the one that's in the wrong. People really gotta stop doing it. And drivers are the worst for it. They really are the worst for it. Some people have this notion that since they can go through the basics of driving, that they're automatically fucking experts. And they're competent drivers, when actually they're some of the worst drivers out there. I think everybody should be retested, especially, like, if everything was monitored. And some people are like, oh, well, I don't want that kind of monitoring on my life, and no, because, you know why you don't want monitoring in your life? It has nothing to do with privacy. It has nothing to do with freedom. It has nothing to do with all that shit. Freedom sounds like it's just another excuse for behaving badly. Oh, my freedoms. Freedom does not mean I have the right to act like an asshole. Freedom does not mean I have the right to do whatever the hell I want. No, because honestly, if we could say to somebody, you know what, you have all the freedoms to live your life, have fun. People take that to the extreme and do whatever the hell they want without consideration for anybody else. Oh, it's my life, it's my freedoms, it's this, whatever the case may be. They think that they have the freedom to do whatever the hell they want across the board and no consequence, regardless if it hampers anybody else's freedoms. Who cares? It's their freedoms, and that's all they care about. So that's why throwing their freedom out there, every single time I hear somebody cry about freedoms, at that point I look at them and I go, oh, okay, you just want license to do whatever the fuck you want without consequence and responsibility for your actions. That's what you're crying about. You're not crying about anything for good reasons. You're just like, oh, I want to do whatever I want without consequence. No, that's not how freedom works, because everybody else has freedoms too, right? You just want your freedoms to behave badly. You want your freedoms to do stuff without consequence. You want your ability to do all that stuff like that because it suits you. But you don't trample on everybody else. That doesn't seem to matter, right? As long as you get your freedoms. And that's where the problem is. Because You're behaving badly and not being accountable to everything else is your freedom. But when you don't get to do what you want, like a tantrum child, you know, your freedoms are being compromised. But you're not thinking about the fact that everybody else has their freedoms as well. It's not all about you. You're not Mr. or Mrs. Entitled. You know, other people have the right to live as well. But you're not thinking about that one. You're only thinking about yourself. And that's where lack of empathy comes into place. If you don't have any empathy, you're not going to think about anybody else. You're only going to think about yourself. That's psychopath behavior, right? The rest of it doesn't seem to matter. As long as you're getting yours, as long as you get to do what you want to do, how dare anybody be offended by that or object to that or whatever, as long as you have your freedoms. Again, early morning, I have some asshole on my tail end. He doesn't like how fast I'm going, so he's going to be aggressive and he's going to be a bully. As long as he gets to do or she gets to do what they want, it's just friggin' annoying. It's like, seriously. If karma was instant and your bad behavior, aggressive behavior, was automatically thrown back at you to be accountable for it, you would probably think twice. Like when I grew up, there was consequence. You did something bad, you were punished for it. As we get older, we don't have that kind of oversight, by our parents. But we try to get away with stuff because you're an adult now. If you're an adult now, act like a freaking adult. Act like a freaking adult. And I use the examples with driving all the time because it's like a perfect example about how people are. It's a perfect example of irrationality. It's a perfect example of people behaving badly because they feel empowered in their one-ton weapons, surrounded by a steel cage or whatever, feeling that they're invincible. I'm empowered because I have this vehicle around me that's protecting me like a suit of armor. I'm invincible. I can do what I want. And it's really interesting to see the empowerment because the most insecure people usually have the biggest vehicles. The stupidest people seem to have the biggest vehicles. Like, for instance, tow truck drivers for some reason. Not tow truck drivers. Pickup truck drivers. People with pickup trucks. For some reason, it's like, here's your stupidity card once you buy the vehicle, and here's your asshole card as well. Like they feel so empowered because they got this huge vehicle, bigger than most others on the road, so they are some of the worst drivers, especially Ram truck drivers for some reason. Like, for some reason, they are some of the worst. It's almost like I'm going to buy a Ram truck and be a complete moron. It's like the model of the truck, make and model of the truck, just like moss to a flame. It's like it brings in the stupidity, the stupid people, the ignorant, arrogant morons seem to gravitate towards certain vehicles. BMW, for some reason, in North America, seems to be, here's your idiot card, buying the car. You get some Audi drivers. You get these people that feel entitled because of, the make and model of a car that they drive. And I see it on a regular basis. That kind of, it's like hand in hand. It's uncanny when I see it. So you got to try to avoid these people because, there's usually a certain mentality that goes along with it. And 9 times out of 10, if you look around, you will see. Watch, have some fun with this. It's not every case, but it's a majority of the case. Look at a Ram truck driver, okay? Watch them drive. Watch how many of the rules of the road they break, whether it's speeding, not signaling, not knowing their boundaries, not knowing, their distances. Look at all that stuff like that. And if you actually take note about this, you will see a good portion, over 50% of the time, it's just moronic. Like, they should not have a license. They should get off the road. So a lot of the behavior that you'll see on the road, and this is where it falls into other pieces of life. I know I like to bring up the car driving thing because this is all I see really at this time. But a lot of the times, if you actually match that personality with the person's actions outside of the vehicle, you will see that it pretty much goes hand in hand. You know, they're not so bright when it comes to driving, and they're not so bright when it comes to life. They have a tendency to treat their life the same way that they actually treat their driving, irresponsibly, without precision, without professionalism, without respect for others, their self entitlement, all this stuff like that moves beyond just their vehicle. It actually moves into their real life as well. Oh, is it a plus? Is it a minus? No. I'm sorry, but entitlement does not make you a go-getter. If your lack of empathy and lack of consideration for everybody else makes you a success, well, are you really a success? Because, in all honesty, you're being an asshole to other people. So, I don't know what kind of success it is. Okay, financially you're a success. Great. Business-wise you're a success. Great. But people think you're the biggest asshole. Oh, you're just jealous. No, I'm not fucking jealous. You're an asshole. Oh, you're successful. You're successful because you're aggressive towards people. Is it really a testament to success if you're aggressive towards people? Make them fear you? You're forcing your will. You're forcing yourself on them in order to get your gains. Is that deemed successful? I don't know if intimidating somebody in order to buy your service or product, at which you end up benefiting for it, is deemed successful. I would say successful would be, at the end of the day, how other people think about you, with respect, with reverence, with a good thought. To me, that would be more successful. Not, oh, how much of a sale did you make and how much money did you put in your pocket? The other person. Like, if you truly help somebody the right way and with integrity, then yeah, there was no intimidation, there was no fearing, there was nothing of that, and everybody's happy at the end of the day, then yeah, you're a success. If people could think of you in a positive light at the end of it all, and not have felt threatened, and not have felt taken advantage of and everything else, then yes, I would consider you a success. That would be something I'd be proud of. But otherwise, no, I don't consider you a success. I consider you a bully. I consider you aggressive. I consider you an asshole. I consider you a lot of other things. If you actually took advantage of somebody for your own personal gain, you're not a success. You're an asshole. And you're nothing to be revered. You're nothing to be applauded. Oh, well, I'm getting mine. Okay, great. So at the end of your days, when you're gone, how many people are going to remember you? You tell me, how many people are going to remember you? And remember you fondly. If you don't care about that, okay, fine. Continue what you're doing. I think that's the best saying I've heard is, you live as long as your name is spoken on someone's lips. That is as long as you live. So when your days are numbered and somebody stops saying your name, that's when you truly die. So if you made a good enough impression on this world and other people, and your name is still spoken years after you've passed, then great. Then you're living that long. But if your name never passes their lips again, anybody's lips, then you're truly gone. So if you do good, chances are people are going to remember you, and they're going to revere you, and they're going to speak your name years after you're gone. And that, in my opinion, is something that is something to applaud about and something to be proud of. That's the way I look at it. So I want to be that person. I mean, I want to live forever, but besides that, um, I would want to be remembered and somebody still speaking my name for many years to follow. You know, when I'm my my days are actually past, I would want that. I really would want that. I don't know. I think it's absolutely insane that people forget about people so quickly after they're gone. Oh yeah, they'll talk about them for days or weeks afterwards, maybe even months. But it's like, oh, it's not me, so fuck it. Why am I worried about it? Really? So the same respect that you show that person, don't be surprised if you get that same respect or less respect in return. Like, that's the thing. You're not. It disgusts me. I've seen an example where somebody has passed away at one of my workplaces. He took his own life. He was unhappy, miserable, dealing with whatever, and he died. Everybody knew the guy. His name was Sean. Really nice guy. He had his struggles like we all do, but he passed on. The director at the time decided to completely broadcast to everybody on Skype, which is what we used, this fact that he passed on. Oh my heavens, it just inconvenienced some people that they had to leave that broadcast group. I was sitting back going, who are these assholes that can't be inconvenienced for a minute or two out of their day? Somebody died, a good person died, and oh my god, you're just inconvenienced that you have to leave this broadcast group instead of listening to a few words about this individual that was so unhappy in their life that they took their own life, and you cannot stand to be inconvenienced for a matter of minutes. I looked at all these names popping off this list, and I'm like, wow, wow, okay, you're an ass, you're an ass. I'm looking at all these names, and I'm just adding immensely to my mental Rolodex going, you're a bunch of assholes. Wow, look at you. You're an ass, you're an ass, you're an ass, you're an ass, and they all have justifications for why they decided to do this. This lack of compassion, right? And I'm just sitting there going, that's incredible. That's fucking incredible. That you can't even find it within yourself to have any compassion for somebody else. Fucking human behavior. I don't know. So, I guess my thoughts, for this session is going to be this. The world's watching, and watching more and more as the years pass. You're going to have to be held accountable eventually. There is a certain level of demand that's going to come around that people are just not going to want to deal with other people's shit. And they're going to want people to be held accountable. On one hand, they're going to want people to be accountable and responsible for their actions. On the other thing, they want to be able to get away with it. But the more and more that we adopt technology to be aware of things, to be able to share whatever, the more and more you will be held accountable in one way or another. There will be monitoring about what you're doing, and you're just going to have to live up with it. If you want the technology, and if you want, on one hand, for other people that do shit that's wrong to be responsible for it, at the same time, you got to remember that you're going to have to be held responsible for everything as well. And you can cry freedom, and you can cry rights, and you can cry all this other stuff and boo-hoo. But there is enough, I think, of people that don't. I mean, we don't want to live in anarchy, because there's a balancing point. If you want safety and security, somebody's going to have to be keeping an eye. There's going to have to be somebody in the watchtower keeping track of things. So if you want that safety from bad elements that exist in the world, somebody's going to have to monitor. But that also means they're going to monitor you. You can't have it, you can't have it both ways. You can't run around doing whatever the fuck you want and watch everybody else. It doesn't work that way. It's either everybody gets watched to make sure everybody's safe, or nobody gets watched. So the in between just doesn't work. And yes, everybody should be held accountable. Everybody should be held accountable. Is that wrong? I don't think it is. I don't think it is, because obviously we're like fucking toddlers, and we can't be responsible for ourselves. We can't do the right thing without being, kept in check, and that's just wrong, right? You would think that we would be evolved enough. You think it would be mature enough. You think it would be further along as a species to not have to be babysat, but we still do have to be babysat, obviously, because we can't make right decisions on our own. We can't do the right thing on our own, as unfortunate as it is. So I'm just saying, like, it's really got to be kept in a check when it comes to the existence of things. And moving forward, yeah, I applaud the fact that we should be monitored more and we should be held accountable more. Maybe it's just me, because I live by my integrity. Like, I do the right thing, I say the right thing as much as I possibly can. I gripe, yeah, everybody gripes, but yeah, you want to hold me accountable for that? Great. But if you're going to hold me accountable for my gripes, listen to my gripes and do something about them. Don't just listen to my gripes and persecute me because, oh, you said the wrong thing. Listen to my reasons why I'm griping and do something about it, so I have no reason to gripe. But if you just listen to me gripe so you can persecute me, no, that doesn't work. Okay. Let's wrap up the session so I can go in and maybe get an hour or two more sleep before I have to, continue my responsibilities for the day. Listen, folks. Live your life like everybody's watching, especially the people that you want to impress. Live your life and be accountable for your actions. Even if it's simple as driving, you're monitored. People are watching. People are taking notes. And if somebody comes back on you for it, that's your doing. And you have to own up to that. And you have to live up to that. Don't try to make excuses for it. Own up to it. And know the rules of the road if you're going to have a license to be on the road. Know that there's a certain level of civility. Understand what a signal is. Understand what speed limits are. Understand what the rules are there for. The reason there's rules for the road is because assholes like you don't know how to follow the rules of the road. And that's why there's more and more rules. And that's why the rules exist. Because idiots like you decided to break the rules, so the rules had to be enforced. And there had to be more rules put on top of that. You are part of the problem. If everybody did the right thing when it came to driving, there wouldn't be so many rules, and there wouldn't be more signs going up, and there wouldn't be more accountability because everybody was doing the right thing. So because assholes like yourself decided to break the rules because they suited you at the time, means that's why there's more rules. So think about that for 1 second. What you're doing is the reason why these rules exist, and you can't rewrite the rules. That has to be majority. It doesn't, just because Tom doesn't like it doesn't mean Dick and Harry are going to agree with it. I mean, no, it's the majority has to agree that these rules are good or they're bad or whatever the case may be, but the majority has to be on board with it. Not because it suits you, not because of that. And if you break a rule, break a law, you should be held accountable. That's what civilization is all about, is being civil. Do the right thing when no one else is watching. That's what integrity means. Learn the rules and do the right thing. Because it reflects badly on yourself. As much as, oh, I can get away with it. Oh, there should be nothing wrong with what I do. No. There is something wrong with what you're doing. And you should be held accountable for it. You should be persecuted or praised for it. But understand there is a way that everything needs to be done. Otherwise, you're causing disharmony in one level or another, whether it be the person in the next car, whether it be your neighbor, whether it be anybody that's looking at all this. Because the question is Oh well, why are they doing the wrong thing? Why are they breaking that rule? Why are they doing this? And they get disgruntled, and that just causes civil unrest. But if everybody does the right thing, there's nothing to complain about. Do the right thing. Nobody has anything to complain about. But you got to do the right thing, whether it's serving, self-serving, or not. Do the right thing because it's for the greater good. It's serving everybody, not just your greedy, arrogant self. It's serving everybody, and that's why I support to do the right thing. Okay, I'm not going to continue on. Hopefully, you've listened to some of what I said, made sense of what I said. Hopefully, you learned from something of what I said, and there's logic to what I said. You just have to look beyond yourself and stop being so self-serving and think about everybody as a majority and how it does the greater good. All right, I'm wrapping up. Hey, I'm Matt Morgan, and like always, I'm just trying to make the world one better one day at a time, one step at a time. And if you've, hey, if any of this helps, if you enjoyed any of this, follow me, subscribe, like me, stay tuned for my next show. Other than that, stay safe out there. I'll see you next episode.